Hello, my name is Marigo Raftopoulos and welcome to my presentation of Designing Tiny Robots. Just some background on this project. It's part of my Marie Curie Fellowship for the project Augmented Humans. And the focus of this project and the 5 different work packages was on how we might enable collaboration and teamwork between humans and machines for creative problem solving in complex environments. And this project was part of that. The problem space that we were looking at is looking at trying to resolve the issues with limited business confidence for AI adoption, low value creation outcomes that are being reported by industry, a lot of issues with industry hype versus reality in terms of capabilities of AI applications, limited critical research fragmentation across research domains and technology silos, and an underrepresentation of the unique challenges of human AI collaboration, because we've largely come out of projects which focus on automation as opposed to sort of true collaboration. So the research challenges are blurred boundaries between AI technology development and its use, making it necessary to theorize beyond narrow approaches which are dominated by technology adoption and digital transformation models that have come out of older digital technologies and don't really sort of meet the true challenges that AI technologies are showing up. So we need to be more proactive in terms of looking at current and future challenges that may involve a stakeholder co-creation approach so we can build much better socio-technical systems. And the research to date from our other work packages is that value creation from AI or general intelligent technologies represents unique challenges due to the complex interactions between technology, systems, tasks, and processes. So the research question that we focused on for tiny robots was how might we make AI systems design and technology development tangible, engaging and understandable to engage stakeholders in the process of co-creation, because our sort of fundamental process there is looking at can we build better systems if stakeholders have a greater role in their creation. So the research placed at the converging domains of information systems, human-computer interaction, participatory design, digital transformation in business environments. So it's quite a multidisciplinary approach. And we use design science for the development and valuation of research artifacts for this project, and the development of design cards and a design process for co-creating AI systems and stakeholders were the artifacts that came out of that research. Methodology, a bit long and complex. It's in the paper, so I won't go through it in a lot of detail because I've only got sort of 10 minutes for this presentation. So what we have here is quite a thorough process, particularly when we're sort of looking at design science, and so we start with literature review, a whole series of different workshops to test and iterate the different projects. But I'll leave that for you to look through in the paper. So the artifacts that we researched and developed were 3 sets of conversational design cards, which looked at 3 areas in terms of the design concepts, the dark side of AI, and human flourishing in the age of AI. Also a design card game, very, very simple one, which was called Creating Tiny Robots, and a design sprint process using design canvases that are well-known or a familiar technique that's used in many design processes that we adapted so people understand the process, but we've sort of interwoven specific AI design things that we were sort of focusing on. Workshops, ran 5 workshops across a few different countries there, 91 participants in all. And I'll go through some of the artifacts that were originally designed and then that were iterated throughout that whole sort of all those different sort of workshops that were held. So 10 design cards looking at specific areas to understand AI design concepts, and these were done as using sort of conversational methods, so getting people in groups, looking at the cards, choosing a card and discussing it with their groups, so people were beginning in a process of sharing knowledge and understanding what the concepts meant. It was good. Some people knew some information, others didn't, but that was part of starting conversations in those particular areas as a way of learning. Another set of 10 cards, which were called provocation cards. So these were focused on the dark side of AI, and it was really interesting because this is sort of the second step in that process, and people were generally very provoked in these areas. So the cards actually fulfilled a part of its purpose, because sometimes you get a group of people that are very optimistic about AI, they're almost sort of emotionally invested in it, so many took offence at this, but then came to a much more deeper understanding of both sides of AI. So we were quite sort of happy with those outcomes. And this particular process ended with the human flourishing cards, so really focusing on those human-centered elements and how we can better technology design, but also its implementation and enablement in organisations. The game, called Creating Tiny Robots, is focused on working with design cards and thereby design constraints. So there were 4 sets of cards. One set was a task card, which is, what is your tiny robot or your AI to perform? Now, the tiny robot could be any form of AI. It could be a robot, it could be an algorithm. So thinking about what the problem is to be solved, who the target audience is. We also had a touch point card, which is looking at the technology that the user will actually be interacting with, and that was focused on, how are you going to collect data? How will your user be helped, nudged, or prompted? And the third card is an experience card, is in terms of how do we design an enjoyable or engaging experience for your target user. And then part of that process is people were using those 3 cards to develop a prototype, low fidelity prototype, and halfway through the process we would introduce a bug. So, so it's like an unexpected bug is found. How would this impact your design, and how does it challenge your assumptions, etc.? So how that sort of flowed is basically picking up 3 cards and to get people to really understand, and this is targeted at people who may not have a detailed understanding of how AI works. A lot of people their experience with AI was with generative AI, so understanding that there's quite a complex and much more detailed technology stack was new to a lot of people. So their experience of AI beyond ChatGPT, for example, was fairly limited. So understanding data flows and machine-to-machine data exchanges and user activation was quite new. So it was very positive and enlightening experience for a lot of people, particularly when we're looking to engage with a whole array of stakeholders, because when you're implementing socio-technical systems, a lot of the time the different business processes don't really focus on the people who will be doing the day-to-day work and what that sort of the social, human and professional impact will be on them. So the activity summarised is select a set of challenge cards. As in most sort of design thinking or design sprint processes, you quickly ideate 5 ideas and then we actually build one. So creating those sort of low fidelity prototypes, looking something like that. So we use a variety of different craft tools, Lego Serious Play obviously being a key one. So what this does is you're building a prototype. As we also had those design canvases, just one-dimensional writing out your ideas, but the actual visualization of those ideas using sort of these different sort of low-fidelity prototyping tools really helps to understand a system, because it's multi-dimensional. You've got a group dynamic happening, and it's much easier to visualize and explain and iterate on those initial AI design ideas. So limitations and opportunities. It was designed for stakeholders in the early stages of exploring AI-enabled systems. The next stages of development is obviously to test it in the wild, so working with organisations or developers to help implement sort of a much more sort of detailed design process that could lead to the development of actual AI software. A potential supplement to the AI model cards that a lot of developers are already using, given the wonderful work of Mitchell and Christian, etc. So a lot of AI model cards are used by larger developers, so a lot of smaller software developers may not actually be using that, so it's a good supplement for that. Participants self-selected to attend the workshop on the promise of fun and a creative process, so we've received really wonderful positive response to the workshop, but we probably need to extend that beyond people who are looking for a fun, creative, gameful process. And also, as anything to do with grounded theory and design science, practitioner bias and worldview obviously has an impact on those how we sort of develop these projects. So overall conclusions, despite the potential of AI technologies, research shows that there's limited returns on investments, largely attributed to organisational enablement issues, such as well as technology design and adoption. One way to manage it is to engage a wide range of stakeholders in the AI technology design co-creation process. We've proposed a set of artefacts such as AI design cards and a design sprint process to help with to better collaborate with stakeholders and building more human-centered AI design. There is a greater challenge, though, in terms of the complexity of AI software development value chain, which is quite complex and difficult. So it's arisen out of old school technology or digital development, so that needs to be adapted for more user-centered design technologies. And the complexity of AI concepts is still challenging in collaborative environments. So overall stakeholder knowledge and awareness of a full range of AI technologies is still fairly limited. So overall conclusions is that you must fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. So even though AI is a really wonderful, promising solution, the problem is basically looking at in the workplace, in the product, in the service area, what is the problem that we're actually looking to solve, and not necessarily assume that AI is the best solution for it, or in terms of a packaged solution for it. And looking closely at what is humanity yearning for in terms of connection, belonging, hope, protection, and flourishing. Are our AI-enabled systems sort of looking to sort of fulfill all those needs, because these are the things that make people productive and creative and innovative. So my concluding slide, what are we doing here? That is the questions, and I think that's the bigger challenge for any of us in human-centered design for technology need to be looking for. Well, that's it. Slightly over time, apologies. So I'll be here live to answer any questions. So thank you so much for listening.